How is it going, folks? Welcome back to Prem. I hope you guys are doing amazing. It is the second episode of season number 10. This is episode number 65, 66, 60. I don't know what number it is. What I do know is we are currently in the drop zone and things do not look pretty. Here we are, 22nd place, 2 wins in 9 games. Now, I will say, in our own defence, we do have a game in hand today. So if we win our game in hand, it's against Burnley and at 17th. It could be winnable. We could easily climb out the drop zone. That's not to say it's going to be easy. Yes, on the offing today, we have got Burnley at home. And after that, we are going to be doing the small matter of Salford away. Remember Salford down there in the wages spend? Thought this would be a nice winnable game. They're currently in 8th place. They're currently challenging for the playoffs. They're currently making me look like a mug, although this is their 5th season in this division. There's a lot of football to catch you up on, a lot of injuries to touch, and a transfer or two. So don't go anywhere. Let's run that intro and get straight into things, shall we? I wasn't 100% sure where to start today, but let's start with a positive. Luis Tejera, the centre-back, hasn't got injured seriously yet, so that's a big thumbs up. And additionally, he has signed a new contract at the club. It does make him one of the top earners, but crucially, it does remove his release clause. So this man, we are not going to potentially lose for £800,000 down the line. And so far, in a season that hasn't exactly been full of positives, he has been a rare ray of hope, I suppose. A 7.1 rating for a team who are in the relegation zone for a defender really isn't that bad. Now, unfortunately for us, Owen Beck broke his ankle. Yes, this is a man whose contract is running up at the end of the year anyway, was really our go-to backup left-back. So naturally, when he broke his ankle and was out for the best part of 6 months, needed to get in a replacement. I have managed to get in a new backup, and it's this man, Lenny Ray Cerno? Answers on a postcard, I don't know. He is a left-back Ghanaian, was previously actually playing for Bolton Wanderers, where he did play 40 games in the Championship. For us, he is really just going to be a squad left-back option. With Beck getting injured, I needed a left-back. This man, not as good going forward, but a very good player from a physical point of view. So far, we haven't had to call upon him. And of course, you might remember it last episode, but we were looking to get in Percy Donald. His work permit was granted. He has joined us on £4,000 a week, a 4-year deal for this man. Really, really like the look of him. Superb defensive midfielder who definitely has the ability, I think, to play as maybe more of a centre attacking mid player. It's certainly lingering in my mind, the possibility that he could be a attacking advanced playmaker. On the flip side, he can play as a defensive midfielder, and in fact, that is his natural position. That partnered with the fact that Boubakari is also currently learning to play defensive midfielder is making me wonder if down the line we need to drop the 2 centre mids a little bit deeper. But due to our recent form, that plan is kind of on pause, at least for now. And well, speaking of form, let's talk about it because it's not exactly been great. Of course, a 2-0 win and a 2-0 defeat. So far this season, we've got 2 wins all year. Both have come against Welsh teams, so we've not beaten any team from England yet. Now, naturally, when we lost to Crystal Palace, I wasn't going to panic too much. This result did set me back a little bit, though. A 3-0 home defeat against Ipswich Town. Truth be told, we weren't actually that bad. I think 3-0 flattered Ipswich a little bit. As we chased the game late on, they did get a further goal back. Ultimately, however, it was a 3rd game in a row where we didn't score. So when in the very next game, we did score and score 2, I wanted to try and see some positives. But for the fact, we did concede 4 against Fulham. And that concluded the month of August where, well, after 4 league games, we had 3 points. But to kick off the month of September, a fairly winnable game, or at least a game I felt like we could get something from, and that we did. Away from home against Luton Town, a 1-1 draw. We did rely on our own goal in this game to get us back into it. Worth noting, Betford in this game was absolutely tragic. And whilst I've been able to offer Tejera a new deal to get rid of his release clause, Beckford, at least right now, doesn't want to talk new contracts. He still has that release clause, and at the moment, I have no idea why any team would try and trigger that. After the 1-1 draw, a 1-0 defeat against West Brom was disappointing. They scored in the first minute. We couldn't really respond from there, but ultimately it was a hard-fought game. And well, that can be applied, I suppose, to the last few games, because a 1-1 draw against Sheffield United was followed up by a second win of the season, as I already mentioned, against the Welsh side Swansea. In this game, they did have a sending-off late on, but to be honest, we won this game on our own merit. We created a lot. We looked absolutely superb at the back. Rigby having a very good game in this specific match. Truth be told, so far this year, he has not been great. And in our most recent game, taking on Stoke City, a team who are okay at this level. In fact, if we just look at things, their media prediction is 4th, so maybe me calling them okay is an understatement of the year. We lost this game 1-0, which is disappointing, even more so because they scored from a corner in the 91st minute. So whilst we are in the relegation zone, maybe I'm a little bit deluded here, I actually think the recent form isn't worth panicking about just yet. We've had some tricky games in here, only lost 2 games, lost both of them 1-0. We are looking solid defensively. We do need to start scoring goals though. I want to sit here and claim that one of the limiting factors behind the lack of goals is Mason Burstow getting injured. This man has fractured his spine. That sounds serious, doesn't it? He is out for 7 to 8 weeks. So, yeah, one of the players we picked up and were kind of reliant on, I felt like, not available now. That does mean in the striking department, which was already maybe one of our weaker areas, we are lacking a rather important tool. From a goal-scoring point of view so far this season, Abu Kamara has been the man we've been relying on. 3 goals in 9 games for him. Besides that, there hasn't been a load of goals flowing. In fact, you can see here, 7 goals scored so far this year. It's not exactly inspiring. It is worth noting with the most recent additions to the squad, we are now spending our wage budget and then some. In fact, I've technically gone over budget on both the scouting budget and wage budget, which seems like quite the achievement. The good news is we are making a little bit of money in the Championship, and as a result, the overall balance isn't in a too negative of a spot just yet. Another reason why perhaps this doesn't look as good as it could is because of some good news, and that is the fact the board have agreed to improve the training facilities. So for all those people saying, Jack, improve the facilities, like, it's happening. I believe. We actually agreed to start this back in July, and I forgot to mention it. It will be done in a few months' time. I'm looking forward to it. We've spent quite a lot of money on it. Unfortunately, I think it is only going to add half a star to our facilities, which, I mean, it's not exactly great. With Teixeira and Donald signing new deals at the club and long-term deals as well, we have got a core of players here who I think we are going to be able to keep around. They are also players who won't count towards financial fair play should we get relegated next year because they're on these longer-term deals. And I do feel like the squad has actually made progress this year. And when I look at the ages, when I look at, some of these better young players, I feel like there's room for them to grow with the squad. Naturally, I'd rather that growth happen whilst we're a Championship team and maintaining our status, but there is already part of me starting to think relegation is a real possibility. I mean, we knew that coming into things. I want to remain positive. Who knows? If we win the games today, suddenly I get all carried away. Anyway, first game of today's episode is against Burnley. They're down in 17th, but they have got a game in hand, which if they win, will throw them back into playoff contention. Pre-season media prediction was 6th, so I want to believe we can maybe have a chance. They're clearly a team that aren't playing that great right now. From our point of view, I feel like given our recent form, morale could be a lot worse. Maybe I'm clutching at straws a little bit here. So in terms of team news for today's game, of course, we are without Burstow. That does mean that Apshawn is going to come into the team and play as a poacher for us. This is a role that he can play reasonably well. Hasn't had a great goal-scoring start to the year, although this will be his first start of the season. Of all the strikers, I feel like he's the one who's not really been given enough of a chance just yet. Elsewhere in the team, of course, we are still without Jordan Gabriel. Was our key player going into the season, picked up that serious hip injury. Some good news, it's not completely nuked his physicals, which at 33 years old, when you see a kind of 4-month-long injury, that perhaps lingers as a possibility. He has actually passed a fitness test to play 45 minutes, but he's going to sit on the bench at least initially. That does mean that Haddo is going to start for us at right back. In the midfield as well, you might have noticed Connor Panny moving down to the bench. He has been in and out of the team a little bit, but for today's game, I want to try Donald alongside Abu Bakari. These are two players that I like the look of. Like I mentioned earlier, both have the potential to play as defensive midfielders. So if we do want to transition our shape a little bit, change things up, they do afford us that possibility. That said, given our recent form, I don't feel like it's a defensive weakness we've necessarily been showing. We need to start getting goals from somewhere. Davis had a really good start to his time at the club. He has been very, very average ever since. Good news for Man City fans. He is actually developing at us. I need him to start developing some performances on the pitch, though. Anyway, let's get into this game. At home against Burnley, I want to believe there's a chance. I certainly feel like this is a more winnable game than the one away from home against the Salford team, who are overperforming and flying high. But at the same time, yeah, but it's Burnley. I mean, their media prediction 6th. Yes, the Vincent Kompany era is over in this save game. They are still a very good team at this level, and we are going to have to be at our best. Looking at things here, it looks like they are playing a back 4, which I want to believe could work in our favour. What is not going to work in our favour is conceding a goal like that. I mean, we have lasted less than 2 minutes in this game. The goalkeeper lumps the ball forward. Donald is apparently tracking back. I don't know why Beckford's not doing his job. Rigby's decided he's going to have a picnic at the near post and he's just sat on his arse. And yeah, Burnley take the lead with the first shot of the game. Not exactly what I want to see, but maybe a chance for a response. Aboubakari putting in one tackle. Has been called up by the Ghanaian under-23 kind of national team recently. They've got Marcus Leonardo in their team. He's hit the woodwork. Rigby's collected it. I mean, Marcus Leonardo is on £54,000 a week. He's quite a good footballer. I do feel like during these matches, I'm going to click on players that I recognise because I feel like it's important to just provide a little bit of context as to the players that we are going up against here. Throw in on the far side. Burnley in possession. Still a 1-goal game. You know, we conceded early on. We've steadied the ship for 10 minutes, but it might be rocking again. Oh my word. Marcus Leonardo looks good, doesn't he? I just noticed that Burnley have got Eddie Salcedo alongside Marcus Leonardo. How are they not in the Premier League with this front two? Maybe more importantly, how are they like 17th or 18th in the Championship with these strikers? That is, I mean, give me those players. I'll get promoted. It's not fair. Mackenzie, can we make something happen here? Ball's launched forward. It's dealt with well. Burnley are playing a 4-4-2. Maybe some area and space in between the lines to operate in to really exploit. Ball played around nicely here. Teixeira at centre-back. Signed that new deal. Gives it to Davies. He's going to get caught in possession, though. And now it's Burnley in possession again. They've looked dangerous going forward on the few occasions they have done so. As for us, well, we're yet to create anything of note in this game, and we could be on the back foot again, but for a Scott Williams tackle, Haddo plays it forward. Williams is on a wander. He plays it through to Davis, who really should have done better there. He's kicked it straight at the keeper. We have had 65% of the ball. Unfortunately, possession doesn't mean diddly squat. You do actually have to do stuff with it. Burnley had a really good start to the game, had a few good opportunities. From there, though, I feel like we have been the team in the ascendancy. I am going to make a little bit of a change here, not in terms of kind of personnel, but in terms of shape. I want to try getting the wing-backs higher up the pitch. Mackenzie, get on wing-back on attack. I'm going to bring in Jordan Gabriel to play as well. Got told he could play 45 minutes. He's going to play 45 here. I just want to see how we fare with the two kind of centre mids sitting a little bit deeper. I know with kind of 4-2-3-1s this year, defensive mids seem to work better than centre mids in a lot of situations. It might be a little bit overkill with our three at the back, but I mean, this is a shape you see the AI play a lot in Football Manager. Maybe it will work for us. I feel like it's worth a go here to see if we can just shut down Burnley a little bit. Donald, of course, making his live commentary debut today. Hasn't looked super inspirational, a deep line playmaker. I'm sure the Panny fans out there aren't happy to see their boy dropped, but well, there could be a chance here. Apshawn, Aboubakari bringing it forward, goes down in a heap. We have earned a penalty there, and Aboubakari playing that defensive midfielder role gets forward, earns us a chance from the spot, and now all eyes are on Abu Kamara. What can he do? The number 9, he steps up, he slots it away just about, and from absolutely nowhere, we are back in this game. That is Abu Kamara's 4th goal of the season. I think we've only scored 8 goals in the league all year long. We're going to ignore the fact that I think more than half of his goals have come from the penalty spot. He's been massive, and we are massive. We might have a chance here. Aboubakari laying it back to Beckford. He's going to go down the line to Jack Mackenzie, who's going to dink it in towards Abu Kamara, and I'll tell you what, all of a sudden, we're looking dangerous. Change things up in the midfield and suddenly a flurry of highlights. Is that a coincidence? Potentially. Beckford battling away. Donald and Aboubakari linking up nicely. Kamara can't win the header. Feel like we like to play the ball up to Kamara like that and he never wins the ball. Eddie Salcedo's through for them and Eddie Salcedo has scored for them. I mean, that is the issue with going up against this quality. We can shut them down and have a load of the ball, but for top quality players, only takes a moment to score. Only takes half a chance. And from here, I mean, Burnley have knocked the ball around nicely. Marcus Leonardo inside. Eddie Salcedo. Was Williams caught a bit in no man's land there? Potentially Teixeira maybe chasing the ball. I mean, we could look around and try and play the blame game. I think a bit of quality is shown. Right, let's change things up. Tim Apshawn's not had the best of games. I'm going to bring in Brandon Charles. Elsewhere, Mackenzie's on a booking, but I just don't have the backup fullback options needed. I'm going to take off Brian Davis and bring in Earthy. Besides that, though, I'm going to stick with the team, at least for now. I am actually liking the wing-backs on attack. They are definitely getting further up the field. Kind of hesitant to do that with kind of the two regular centre mids, but if we were to start our centre mids a little bit deeper, maybe opens up that opportunity. I thought for a moment Aboubakari was about to pick out Abu Kamara. Unfortunately, Burnley have dealt with it well. But at 2-1, we're still very much in this game. And although, I mean, who's missed the header there? Gabriel. He's meant to be our key man. He's earning the most at the club. And I'll tell you what, him missing that header has very nearly cost us. Throwing on this near side, Gabriel, long throw into the box, Teixeira, back to Gabriel. That is unorthodox, but it's still not away from danger. Can we cause some issues? Aboubakari, Gabriel, can't get it in, but back with Aboubakari. I feel like he's been at the centre of everything we've done. He goes to McKenzie. Gonna up the tempo a little bit and also just get rid of look for overlap, add pass into space. With so many players starting a little bit deeper, looking to pass into the space for them to run onto kind of makes sense. We've got 15 minutes left here to chase this game. What I will say is, on the balance of play, I think we're very unfortunate to be 2-1 down. And with, 14 minutes left, I want to believe we're the more likely team to score. Can we make something happen here? Scotty Williams to Donald, who hasn't looked great today, but I'll tell you what, that pass there is good. Brandon Charles is through. Brandon Charles has scored his first goal of the season. And, well, Percy Donald, I'd like to issue a public apology. Brought him into the team, said he hasn't been playing very well today, and then I think he took it personally. I think he heard what I said about him. This pass here is superb. On his left foot, plays it forward. Charles, one touch, hits it. And, the sub has come on and made an impact. Is anyone else really liking the look of the defensive midfielders? I think I might have struck gold here. I say that. I mean, it's a small sample size, but it does look very good. I've noticed Donald and Aboubakari doing stuff. That hasn't been the case in a lot of these games. There's 2 minutes left. Is there a late sting in the tail? Is there a late twist? 4 minutes of added time. To be honest, a 2-2 draw here is still a really, really good result, and it is going to have to be what we settle for. Brandon Charles was our best performer. On off the bench he came. Elsewhere, Donald and Williams had good games. Wasn't a fantastic team display on the whole. Burnley took 2 of their 3 shots on target. Of course, we did have a penalty which inflates our XG. I feel like on another day though, we could have won that game. I mean, in the words of Brendan Rodgers, we've shown great character to fight back there. And with that result, we do now move out of the drop zone. Of course, our next opposition today is going to be Salford City. They are currently flying high in 8th. It is an away day as well, and that game, if I'm not mistaken, it's only a few days away, so we need to reset quickly. That game against Salford is 3 days away. Now, they've actually had a rest in midweek, which doesn't feel very fair, but life's not fair. I'm going to rest up the players. I think I'm going to start with the defensive midfielders. We've got that away day. Let's go make it happen, shall we? Okay, we're going to get straight into the away day today. We are heading to Salford. I'm kind of just nervous and excited to get into this one because seeing Salford do well, it's giving me hope. It's making me believe that maybe we can have a chance. Now, in terms of Salford FC, it's actually north of Salford, and they play at the Peninsula Stadium, which isn't even marked on Google Maps. That's a concerning start. I'm not 100% sure, but I have to assume this stadium is one of the smallest in the Championship at this moment in time. I mean, here it is in Football Manager. If you were to see that from a rooftop view without the pitch, would you even know that's a football stadium looking at the roof? It looks a bit Roman or Greek to me, with kind of tiled roofing. I assume it's not tiled roofing. That would be mental. I mean, I'm just looking at the facilities around the stadium. You've got the Kersal Moor to the north, and you've got a primary school to the south. Besides that, it is a rather quaint stadium. I suppose the devil is in the detail, though. What is the Google Street View saying? Oh no. I don't want to say I'm concerned for the people of Salford. I'm concerned for the people of Salford because I can't get in the car park. This might be the view of the stadium that we get. What I will say is their floodlights are shaped the same as their club crest. I feel like they deserve points for that. I'm trying to see if there's a place where I can get a better view. I mean, are we back in the park? I can see some grass. I mean, that might be as close as we get to a glimpse of the pitch today. Can I see anything on the south side? Okay, there is a little bit here. Maybe there's some hope. Let's have a look. I mean, this is just someone's back garden. Where are we? How did the Google Street Van get down this road? Here is more of the stadium to the left. How am I meant to rate this? I mean, it's not a great away day so far. I say so far like there's a way to redeem this. I can't see anything. I think, and I hate to admit it, I think we're going to have to go to Google Earth just to get a look. But people of Salford, please don't be offended by the rating you're about to get. Very small silver lining. We can actually view the stadium in 3D. Here it is. I mean, it's just very quaint and cute, really, isn't it? It's a shame that we can't really get more of a look on the inside. It looks like it's got standing at one end, seats down the other. I assume in Football Manager they've probably had to upgrade the stadium a little bit over the years. In terms of stadiums, it looks amazing as a stadium in itself. It has a bit of personality, it's a bit unique. Unfortunately, there are no facilities, there is no camera footage inside the stadium, so I can't really give it a good score. I mean, is there even a car park? I didn't even think about that. I don't want to alarm anyone. This That's the car park. Salford, please don't be offended. 2.5 out of 10. I think I've been generous there too. I'm giving them the 2.5 out of 10 because the floodlights are shaped like the club crest around the edges. That is the only thing of kind of note I can really say about the stadium besides the roof. Just to provide a bit of perspective here, Salford are the third smallest spenders in the league. They have players on £20,000 and £19,000 a week. I mean, those two players alone would make up 2/3 of my wage budget. And with respect to Tommy Doyle and Mengi, they're not that good. I do realise in saying that, I've now set myself up for them to score against us. Let's talk about the team news for today's game. We are going to change things up a little bit. And in fact, I think, going to change our setup in the midfield to what I showed last game. We're going to play with the wing-backs on attack. You might notice here, Cerno, I'm going to go with Cerno, although it could be Kerno. He is going to come in and play at left-back today. That because Jack McKenzie is suspended. If we just compare these two players, I mean, Jack McKenzie better defensively. Lenny Ray here, I might just call him Lenny Ray. That's a cool name. He is very, very quick and has a little bit of vision about him. Is that more in his passing and his flair or his actual vision? He's got the edge in vision, the edge in flair, actually has worse passing. I mean, that's awkward. You might have also spotted it in the final third. Brandon Charles is going to start in this game here. Tim Apshawn did not impress me. Brandon Charles scored his first goal of the season. Let's see if he can keep that momentum going in this one. Have just noticed I am playing him as a pressing forward on attack. He should not be a pressing forward on attack. We're going to update this. And you know what? Going to stick him in, I think, as a poacher or a deep-lying forward. I think I'm going to go with deep-lying forward just because it does make the most of his passing and vision and also his technique. It'll probably work quite nicely with Davis in behind as well. This is the team I'm going to go with. Let's see if they can do the business. This is going to be a tricky one. Okay, Salford are playing a 4-4-2 like Burnley. Given how we performed against Burnley's 4-4-2, I'm interested to see what we can do here. In that last game, we did have a lot of the ball. We did create a fair bit too, but maybe not as much as you'd expect with the amount of possession that we have. My running theory really here is that with these 7 players kind of set up fairly deep and with us trying to play the ball out from the back, we can hold on to the ball in good areas, maybe invite a press from the opposition and then look to get the ball forward a little bit quickly into the final third. That's the method to the madness. I was really impressed by Donald and Bubakari last game, so keen to see what they can do in this one. And, well, of course, as I big them up, Donald misplaces a pass. But the ball's going to be played forward here. It's now with Doyle, who I said wasn't worth the money they're paying him. I mean, trust him to get in on the action now. Tejera back to Rigby. Rigby, by the way, did not have a good game last match. Truth be told, they only had 3 shots on target, 2 of them went in. So maybe it's hard to judge him too harshly, but I need him to be at his best today, and we might need him in action here because Salford are playing the ball forward. Ball was whipped in towards Wilson. Tejera, with his 20 jumping reach, has dealt with it initially, but there might still be a storm to weather here. Pierrick plays it in, not once but twice. Solly hits it. Loops away to safety for now. Salford, though, still with a chance from the corner potentially. It's going to be Doyle over it for them. All going to be whipped in, back post, headed away initially. Can we continue to get it away from danger? Brandon Charles off the line. We live to fight another day. Another set piece, though, for us to deal with here. Doyle whipping it in. Adozi's gone down in a heap. And Abu Kamara's pushed him over. Is that the most frustrating highlight to see in Football Manager? You know, where one of your players just mindlessly pushes another man over. Rigby, you made a few penalty saves last year. I need one here. I'm not going to get one here. He's been sent the wrong way. Frustrating goal to give away here. I mean, look, it's been a one-sided first half, but when you give them a chance from the penalty spot, you're kind of just inflicting your own misery upon yourself. Half an hour played here. We've not done nearly enough, and that is maybe a little bit of a cause for concern. Just going to tell the players to up the tempo, get rid of overlap passes, and look to pass into space. They were changes we made last game. Just keen to see us get the ball forward a little bit quicker. And well, we might have a chance on the corner here because the ball is going to be whipped in. It's headed away initially, but Beckford should hopefully be able to keep this alive for us. Back now with Donald on this left side. He hits it, and I mean, it's a goal. What has the goalkeeper done? Am I allowed to celebrate that? I mean, it's his first goal of the club. It's a memorable moment for Percy. But, I mean, should he really be scoring this? He took the corner. He was still just kind of lurking out in a wide area. I was ready to get annoyed with him about the fact he decided to shoot, but he's pulled the trigger. If you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the raffle, and he's just won the jackpot. That, by the way, was our first shot on target of the game, so maybe a little bit fortunate. Half-time here in this game, maybe a little bit lucky to be 1-1 at the break, but what I will say is when you look at the XG story, having scored, Salford really haven't done a great deal themselves. Going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. Jordan Gabriel is on a booking. He's still only really fit enough to play 45 minutes, so I am going to take him off. Scott Williams needs to watch himself. He is on a booking right now. I am just going to tell him to ease off tackles. Brandon Charles has had a great half in this game, so you know what? I'm going to bring in Williams. Williams is a bit of a beaver, someone who likes to work hard. Ignore the fact his acceleration has dropped from 17 to 16. Don't let it deceive you. He has scored 1 goal in the league. Maybe he can double his tally for the season in this second half. Very often in Football Manager Let's Plays, when I do them, the live commentary games tend to be against the bigger teams and we struggle more against them. And then I go off camera, play some easier teams and win. It has been the opposite this season. We are actually playing rather well and putting in some good shifts in these games on camera. We just need to do better when the lights, the camera and the action isn't on us. We have got a chance here as well. Williams, fresh off the bench, inside to Abubakari. He's gone down in a heap. Where's your whistle, referee? Did he leave it in the changing room at half-time? That should have been a pen. I mean, we've still got the ball here, so let's remain focused. Abubakari, Donald, Williams, holding up the play really, really nicely, it has to be said. Look at him go. He tried to thread it through the middle as well. It was almost superb by Williams, fresh off the bench. Unfortunately now, Salford looking to bring the ball forward. Teixeira caught flat-footed. Wilson in behind, one-on-one. And I'll tell you what, Rigby has had the ball kicked at him there, but he has managed to divert it away from danger. I'm going to take off Abubakari and bring in Urfi. Unfortunately, Urfi cannot play as a deeper midfielder, so he is going to have to go slightly higher up the pitch. Elsewhere, in terms of instructions, I am going to tell the players just to be a little bit more direct with how we play. And in transition, instead of rolling it out, I'm just going to leave things open to interpretation. Let's let the keeper make some decisions. Hopefully Rigby makes the right ones. There's a highlight going on here, and I don't know if it's because I've just made changes, so I guess we'll just talk over it. And if this is in the video, something's about to happen. If not, it just gets edited, left on the cutting room floor. No one ever sees it. Salford in possession, playing it inside. Oh my word, that is a crazy tackle there that leaves us short on this near side. Solly is played through. He could be in a one-on-one. He's hit it across goal. Teixeira heads it away. Oh my word, we're living things dangerously. We've still only had 1 shot on target, which is a bit of a cause for concern, but with 15 minutes left, we are holding firm away from home against Salford. It's been a heroic display so far. Of course, just as a reminder, their goal came from the penalty spot. We might not be doing a lot. They've not done a lot either. Okay, 7 minutes left in this game. I'm going to take off Abu Kamara and bring in Tim Apshaw. I have got one further change. You know what? Pani on for Davis. We'll also bring Urfi into the shadow striker position, changing things up in the midfield, getting some fresh legs in the final third. And while we might have some defending to do, that was offside. That was close, though. Is there to be a late twist here, or are we destined to get a second draw in this live commentary? There might be a chance here. Williams inside to Donald. We've got players forward here. Pani, fresh off the bench. Can he cause panic? He plays it inside to Urfi, and he probably should do better there. That was a poor miss. I mean, we've still got the corner. All eyes on Teixeira. You've got 20 jumping reach. He still hasn't scored, I don't think, this season. Now is time to shine. 2 minutes left here. Donald. Can he put it on a plate? Teixeira leaps, and I'll tell you what, I've nearly talked it into existence. The keeper tips it over. Salford with a free kick, looking to take it forward. Urfi, Apshaw. We've got some buzzy players in the final third. Fresh legs in. Cherno is going to play it inside, and I'll tell you what, oh my word, we've had chances in this game to steal this away. 4 minutes of added time, 2 minutes left. This is probably going to finish 1-1, and whilst we're fortunate maybe to get that result, we had a flurry of chances at the end, and we didn't take any of them. I mean, we've not won in today's episode, but I think it's still 2 pretty valuable points, and then we only need 50 points this season, and at our current rate, well, we're not going to get 50 points. We do actually need to start winning games. What I will say in our defence is, we should hopefully have some teams in and around us to play soon. I do feel like we've had to play a lot of the teams towards the top already. I say that knowing that my next game off camera is against Middlesbrough, who are top in 3 days' time. Not looking forward to that one. The more I'm thinking about things, the more I'm thinking that the 2 defensive midfielder setup might be the way to go. We look difficult to break down and pretty dangerous on the break in these 2 games here. Yes, we've not managed to win, but I don't think like we look completely outclassed, and at this moment in time, I will consider that a win. What we really need to do now is take some of these draws we've been having and convert them into 3 points. Mixed bag today, some good performances off the pitch, a shocking away day. Salford, sort it out. Get a drone flown over your stadium or something. Just a little bit of a heads up that next week videos are going to be recorded a little bit ahead of schedule. That's because I'm heading off to Stockholm and Helsinki to catch a break. I've not had a break since Football Manager came out, so I feel like I've earned it. But in the meantime, hopefully, assuming Future Jack, from at least now, is organised, there will be episodes uninterrupted. If there isn't, then blame him. He's having a good time on holiday. If you have enjoyed today's video, do make sure to drop a like on it. We are back on Monday with more Park to Prem action. Until then, it is me, Jack, and I'll see you all on the next one. I'm out.